H.R. 1, House Resolution 1. Oh boy. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer's number one legislative priority. H.R. 1 was an elections bill. It would have federalized all state elections, which was a completely unconstitutional overreach. But they tried, and had it not been for the Senate filibuster, they probably would have passed it. And if this piece of trash had passed, the United States of America would have become a one-party state. And which party do you think would have ruled? The far-left Socialist Democrats. H.R. 1 would have banned all voter ID across the country. Universal mail-in ballots would have been in our future. Because God forbid we actually have people come in and vote where we know for sure you are who you say you are. Let me give you a lottery ticket example. Let's say this was a lottery ticket right here. And it was, well, just hold it right there and focus with me. This is worth $100 million. $100 million bucks. There's two ways to redeem this lottery ticket. You can walk it in, or you can mail it in. What would you do? 100% of the people would walk it in. It's the same thing with voting. It's so sacrosanct that we should be going in to vote. Unless we are physically infirmed, we should all be going in to vote. End of story, full stop. Also, this would have compelled all states to immediately grant the right to vote to convicted felons once they were released from prison. The day they got out of prison, they would be able to vote, which is a direct violation of Section 2 of the 14th Amendment of our U.S. Constitution, where it states that criminals can be denied the right to vote. In fact, it has left it up to the states. Each individual state will determine when and even if a convicted felon is granted the franchise. But not if H.R. 1 passed. Oh no, unconstitutional once again. H.R. 1 also had a bizarre provision that would have forced the Treasury to match any political donation that was $200 or less 6 times over. So in other words, let's say somebody were to donate $200 to me. The federal Treasury would have then given my campaign a check for $1,200. That's just nuts. No way our federal tax dollars should be used in this way. So why is it in there? Because Democrats get more smaller donations than Republicans, and it would disproportionately benefit Democrats. This wacky and unfair provision. That's why they were for it. Another thing H.R. 1 would have done would have taken away redistricting altogether from the state legislatures and put them in the hands of independent commissions. Now, on the surface, that doesn't sound all that bad, but let's check under the hood. There's literally no such thing as a redistricting process that is independent. Let's take, for instance, California. They draw their lines, they draw their congressional lines this way. It's a quote-unquote independent commission. Now, in California, typically, if you look at the last 3-4 election cycles, Democrats win about 65% of the vote statewide. So, stands to reason that if an independent commission is drawing the lines, they should have roughly about 65% of the seats the Democrats should have, which would be 34 of the 53 seats. So the delegation in Congress should be 34 Democrats for the Californians and 19 Republicans. So what is it in reality? Nothing close. It's 42 Democrats and only 11 Republicans. And before this past election, it was 47 Democrats and only 6 Republicans. So much for independent commissions. H.R. 1 is a dangerous bill that would literally undermine our representative republic. We have to throw it up and kill it once and for all.